So after 25 years of cruising, these are the things we always do. If you haven't watched the things we never do after 25 years of cruising, I will link that video as well. This might be one of the main ones we always do. Let me know if you guys are like this. One of the number one things we always do is get a balcony cabin at the minimum. Long gone are the days where we can be in an ocean view or an inside cabin. We've done that years ago, once or twice, and it's like never again. We actually just did an ocean view this past year with our friends because I wasn't paying the ridiculous price they were charging for a balcony for only a few days. I kind of regretted that, but the money difference was just so stupid. I'm like, I'm not giving you guys that. You guys, that's like highway robbery. But anyway, we always get a balcony because we like fresh air. We like to see where we're going. That way we don't have to run up on top when you're leaving port or pulling into port to see anything. I know there's some people that say, oh, we're never in the room. Well, that's because you don't have a nice room. I mean, there's certain trips where we're not in the room as much, but I have never regretted paying the extra money for a balcony ever. So another one, this is obvious, something everybody should be doing unless obviously you live like a couple hours from the cruise port, but that is fly in or drive in the day before. I've heard too many horror stories of people missing their cruise because they came in at the last minute. And sure, if you book with the cruise line, your airfare and all that, they will guarantee, but you still can't guarantee if the airline has an issue. All that means then is that the cruise line will help you get to the next destination. And if we're going international, I would actually suggest going in at least 2 days before because of any delays that might happen and the time change. It just really helps. Something we try to do on the first day is avoid the buffet at all costs. What we usually try to do is eat at a specialty restaurant if it's open or the dining room if it's open, depending on the cruise line and the ship, the first day, just to avoid the craziness of the buffet. I know a lot of people don't like the buffet in general. We don't mind it on certain ships. I feel like certain ships, if the layout is really good, like I feel like on the Celebrity Edge class, it's really nice. I like Princess Royal class ships are nice. We don't mind the buffet. However, we do try to avoid it on embarkation day at lunch because it's typically a madhouse. We have found a few different times if we're there early enough and it's before the buffet is busy, then we will go there. Something we always do on the first day is tour the ship. And definitely if it's a new ship, that's a must. I just feel like it's easier to get acquainted with the ship and where you are if you kind of tour around instead of just go and plant yourself at a bar or on the pool deck the first day. I don't know. I just really like to see all the things I might have missed. So I don't know about you guys, but we have to have water in the room and we usually don't get a drink package, sometimes very rarely. And some cruise lines, water does not come with the drink package. So we always order water to the room. Most of the time I have it delivered to the room on the first day. Some cruise lines, it will be there waiting on us. Others, it comes a little later that day, but we always order the water package to the room. And that's something maybe you don't even realize you can do, but it just makes it so much more convenient. We actually drink a lot of water. We can take it with us then out around the ship, but we have it for when we're in the room. Definitely, before bed at night, I like to have water. We just feel like we go through a lot of it and it's so much more convenient to have it in the room. And depending on the cruise line, it will come like in a 6 or 12 pack and we'll just put several bottles at a time in the refrigerator and then just keep restocking as needed. And it's just way more convenient than always trying to go to a bar and maybe there's a big line and you're waiting for water. You just always have it in the room. Along those same lines as something in the room, we always ask our cabin attendant for ice in the room. That first day when they're going around introducing themselves, they ask, do you have any requests? We always say, can we get ice? Some of them will ask, if you prefer it a certain time of day. We really don't, just whenever they make up the room. If it's a line that still tends to your cabin twice a day, which we usually like, they will actually put it morning and evening. That's just, again, a nice little perk we always like to have. Now, obviously, if you're in a suite or something like that, that's usually always provided without even asking. But if you're just in a regular balcony cabin or another cabin, that is something we always ask for. So along the lines of always booking a balcony, we always look at the deck plan before booking a room. I try to look at this just to, especially if it's a ship I've never been on, just to get familiar with the area and make sure nothing crazy is around us, make sure we don't have adjoining rooms, which we don't like, but you don't want anything crazy above or below, typically above. I always try to do kind of a deep dive on the cabin, what it looks like, the location. There's a lot of different websites online, or if you just Google, like a certain room, a lot of people have taken pictures or maybe have done cabin tours of those certain rooms or locations. So I always kind of like to know where I'm staying and what's around me. This is a definite must have no matter how short the cruise or how much it costs or whatever. We always buy insurance. I feel like the insurance is so inexpensive for what you get that it's totally worth it. So if something does happen and you need to cancel or God forbid have a medical emergency on the ship, I just feel like it's something you need to have and a total must have for us that we always do. We always take our physical passports with us when we are in a foreign port. You never know what may happen, especially if you are trying to maybe get back to the ship. Say something happens and you are detained there for one reason or another. It will make it so much easier if you have your passport to be able to get back home or to rejoin the ship. Another thing we do is we always bring copies of credit cards and our passports. I know some people like to just leave and carry with them the copies of the passport. That would probably work too. We just usually end up bringing the actual passport and leave the copies in the safe back in the cabin. And again, that's one of those things years ago I never thought of until someone was saying, hey, my family member had an accident or something and we needed to stay behind, and they were obviously in another country, and it would have made it so much more seamless to get back if they would have had their physical passports. So this is a fun thing we always do. Let me know what you guys always do on a cruise. I know a lot of people have like their mimosas the first day, or a certain bar they go to, or their first day rituals. Let me know what you guys do. I'd love to hear. But something fun we do, I don't know if you guys are trivia players, but my husband and I love trivia. We may not actually participate, meaning get the piece of paper and write it down and all that, but we definitely go almost on every ship because we love trivia, especially if it's like music trivia or like pop culture trivia. I love that. We both really like trivia, so you will almost always find us at trivia. We always do the muster drill right away too. We just get it out of the way. That's one of those things you don't have to think about. You don't want the cabin attendant, hunting you down later in cabin, or they're calling your name before you leave port because you haven't went. I feel like it's so much easier these days too, of just coming up with your card to the different stations and checking in. It's so seamless these days that that's just something we make sure we do kind of right away. Obviously, everybody has to do them. We just try to do it as early as possible. Another must-have for us that we always do is we unpack right away. I've been known to go up and down the hallways of certain cruise lines, even looking for my luggage, if I start seeing like a hallway full of luggage and we don't have ours yet, because I have found my bags down the hall one time instead of, at our cabin. And some cruise lines will just bring them right in for you, so that's nice. But we try to check around the time we know luggage is going to be delivered. It always varies on the cruise line. And then we just unpack right away. That way, there's always that lull, it seems like, for us on the first day anyway, like after lunch, before you leave. So that's just a great time to do that muster drill and to unpack. And then we have everything out and it just feels like we're settled then. We're not doing it at the last minute. So we've been doing this quite a bit more recently. And that is, we always book our excursions or dinner reservations early with the cruise line. So for instance, if we know that maybe we have a certain restaurant we want to visit, especially dining, or maybe on formal night, we want to go to another restaurant, then we will pre-book that ahead of time. And often cruise lines, if you have loyalty status with them, it will open up to you ahead of time before everyone else that you can book these things. And I highly recommend, if you are going to book your excursions with the cruise line, to do that as early as possible, because a lot of the good ones will sell out quickly. And especially if it's an excursion heavy cruise, we always do that way ahead of time. This might be one of the main ones we always do. Let me know if you guys are like this. We always get a table for two in the dining room. Once in a while, you know, on those random nights or sometimes the first night when they're really busy and everything maybe is a little chaotic, that they'll ask if you want to sit with other people. We have done this once in a while, and we have been fortunate that we have had great table mates and good conversation when it's happened. However, most of the time, we just would prefer to be by ourselves, talk, and not worry about, you know, anybody else, or maybe having bad table mates that, you know, you wish you ended up not sitting with, because I do hear those horror stories. Yeah, we always get a table for two. We just prefer it. And then usually after the first night or so, the maitre d' just knows when you walk up, oh, table for two? Yes, please. We're not even super picky about where we sit. I mean, obviously, we would like certain tables or whatever. Some are nicer locations, some not. But that way you get to, you know, interact with different crew members and such. So we're usually pretty easygoing about like where we sit. Let me know if you guys are like this though, when you are going to your table and you don't know where you're sitting and you pass all these other tables, you're like, oh, that's good. Oh, that one's a good one. So let me know what are the things you guys always do, and leave me a comment letting me know. If you want to watch that video where the things we never do, I will link that for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.